to do it, but in order to use this style, it's good to have a thumb pick because you kind of need to angle it down a little bit different. Okay, so let me just play a little bit for you using it, and then I'll kind of describe what I'm doing. Okay? Now that kind of a boom chick, kind of a picking where you're hitting the bass notes and then the chord, Chet Atkins did that a lot. It was all started with Merle Travis. And what you need to do for this technique is you have to kind of angle. Remember I told you how you always should have your hand out? Well, forget that on this technique. You bring your hand, you put your palm, this part of your palm, on the back side of your string for the bass notes. And it kind of gets this muted sound. Now, it's just on the top few strings, the bass strings, while the ones down here are still able to play the chord. So it's a little bit tricky to get started. You kind of have to angle your hand a little bit down. I'm going to give you a simple exercise to get started with it. Okay? We're just going to try and get the notes first. Okay? Here we go. Exercise 1 in your book. Ready and go. And you're looking for the correct sound in your playing. You want the note kind of choked off a little bit. Okay? May take a little bit of practice to get that in the right spot where it's giving you the right sound. Now let's add a little bit of chords with it. Okay? So it starts out on a C chord. I'm going to do my bass notes, but I'm going to play the top of the C chord with these 3 fingers. Let's see if we can do this. I'll do it nice and slow. This is exercise 2. Ready? Go. Now you slowly build more and more complex patterns on it, throw different chords into it, but that's basically what's going on there. It takes a little bit of sitting in your room going so you actually get the flow of it. But once you do, it's a very rewarding style to play because you're kind of accompanying yourself. You've got a bass line going, you've got the chords going, you can also throw a melody on top. So it's a very interesting and fun technique to play, so I encourage you to work on it. Now you'll notice I'm switching between guitars. Some guitars lend themselves better to, the steel string guitars lend themselves better to Merle Travis stuff and some of the other fingerstyle techniques that we've talked about. Now I'm going to talk about classical guitar a little while. I had to take classical guitar in college, and at first I thought, gosh, it's the biggest waste of time. But actually it ended up being one of the most helpful skills that I now use as a player. So we're going to talk about hand position. That's the first thing. Again, relaxed. Put that hand forward a little bit. Okay? And you want to, let me mention a little bit about taking care of your nails. On one hand, I don't have nails. On my left hand, I don't have nails. On my right hand, although it's not huge nails, I've got a little bit of nails on this hand. It helps to give you the fingerstyle right side sound if you get grow your nails out just a little bit. You don't need to be really long. Just a little bit is enough to get what you need to get for classical playing. And the emphasis is on a good, balanced hand position. Each finger moving like a machine. Okay? One of the best studies you can get as far as studying classical stuff is the Right Hand Studies by Mario Giuliani. Any music store would be able to get it for you. It's his classical right hand studies. And all it does is takes you from a C chord to a G chord in about 120 different ways. Every different combination of fingers that you can use. We'll go through the first couple of them, and that'll kind of get you started, and you'll kind of